The SCP Foundation. Secure, contain, protect.
Greetings. Welcome to the SCP Foundation Research Center. The purpose of the center is to study and... What the hell?
SCP-035, the second culprit of this mess. The object was recently brought to the Foundation, discovered by civilians. One of the survivors described how she came into contact with SCP-035. The man, exploring the ruins of an old fortress, came across an antique theater mask. Most likely he heard an indecipherable whisper which led him to the object. As Dr. Ram later found out, this is how SCP-035 gets its host. Since without the latter, it is almost an ordinary porcelain mask, unable to move, only affecting the psyche of the living creatures around it. After coming into contact with SCP-035, the man lost consciousness, and his body became possessed by the entity of SCP-035, which, according to the victim, had attacked her and attempted to kill her. The exact cause of this behavior was never determined, as SCP-035 refused to elaborate on the matter. However, the victim was able to escape. She called the police, but this call was intercepted by our staff, who dispatched a special unit to the scene of the MTF incident. That was how SCP-035 ended up within the walls of the Foundation. This happened 2 weeks before SCP-049 was brought into containment. Unfortunately, due to the insufficient amount of information, several employees of the Foundation were injured during the initial examination, but a major disaster was avoided. Well, at least for a time being. As the head of research on SCP-035, Dr. Ram was the first to learn about the object's ability to change its personality, depending on the mood and its current objectives. SCP-035 can take the form of a comical or tragic mask. During such metamorphosis, all existent visual representations of SCP-035, such as photographs, videos, and even drawings, automatically change to match its new appearance.
Turn around. Now!
Also, it was discovered through forced testing that the host possessed by SCP-035 is no longer a human with their own mental agency, but is completely a subject to SCP-035's will. Formally, it's not a living being. It doesn't feel pain, and it no longer needs vital organs to move. It was later revealed that SCP-035 can use corpses, mannequins, and even statues as its vessels. Basically, any object that has a head. SCP-035 is capable of animating each of the specified objects, using it until the object is destroyed. The copious amounts of viscous fluid secreting from the eyes and mouth hole of SCP-035 cause severe corrosion and decomposition. Anything that comes into contact with the substance slowly disintegrates over a period of time, depending on the material, until it's completely reduced to a puddle of goo, similar to the secretions of SCP-035. One of the most important discoveries was that SCP-035 can speak using the host. Interviews with the object turned out to be quite informative. The object described several historical events mostly unknown to humanity. Obviously, the object had been residing on Earth much longer than it was possible to assume. SCP-035 convinced Dr. Rom to provide sensitive information about the Foundation. It has expressed a particular interest in a number of SCP objects, including SCP-4715 and SCP-682. Dr. Rom later expressed her concern that upon the contact with SCP-035, these objects, due to their regenerative properties, could overcome the decomposition process and become its permanent carriers. But before that happened, during the initial interrogation, Rom found herself under complete control of SCP-035 and almost led it to the above-mentioned objects, if the security service had not intervened. Unfortunately, Dr. Rom followed SCP-035's command and attacked the guard, but was quickly neutralized. Rom was later subjected to a series of psychological tests, after which she returned to the study, although she wished to be at a considerable distance from the object, observing the experiments from the surveillance camera monitors. Psychological analysis revealed SCP-035's extreme propensity for manipulation, along with the ability to dramatically influence the mental state of its collocutor. None of the subjects were able to resist SCP-035's commands to put it on themselves, or disobey any other suggestions from the object. SCP-035 also demonstrates sadistic tendencies, forcing people to commit suicide. It claims to have deep understanding of the mechanisms of human thought and, given enough time, can radically change the beliefs of any opponent. Another preventative measure for working with the object is the mandatory using of headphones to block the mental effects of SCP-035. After the 49th incident with SCP-035, the O5 Council prohibited all contact with the object, other than tending to its cell and cleaning the secreted substance, which was becoming more and more abundant. The chemical analysis showed that the liquid was human blood, heavily contaminated with a number of extraneous and unidentified reagents. The glass dome that prevents the spread of liquid has to be changed every 2 weeks, and the previous one has to be disposed of using SCP-101, since this object is immune to the destructive properties of SCP-035. Despite our best efforts, it became increasingly difficult to contain SCP-035. SCP-049 breached the containment and teamed up with SCP-035, attempting to escape the premises of the Foundation.
God damn it. I saw his face.